Hello, good morning, everyone, and good evening to all in the other time zones. Welcome to the second installment of our Farmer to Farmer Knowledge Sharing webinar. I'm Judith Agnoleto, Grameen Foundation's Country Director of the F2F COCOS program in the Philippines, or Capacity Building of the Coconut Subsector. Next slide, please. Grameen Foundation's mission is to enable the poor, especially women, to end poverty and hunger. Our breakthroughs are in digital financial services, digital innovation for agriculture, and health financing and access. In July 2019, Grameen Foundation was granted the opportunity to implement the capacity building of the coconut subsector program through Farmer to Farmer. This is a USAID-funded initiative that promotes technical assistance in developing countries. Farmer-to-farmer capacity building of the coconut subsector, also known as F2F COCOS, is a volunteer technical assistance program aimed to increase the coconut sector's productivity, profitability, and expand access to financial services. Grameen Foundation conducted 2 surveys on the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on farmer-to-farmer organizations. The first report was in June 2020, and the second was last February 2021. You have probably received a copy of the first report. Today, we will present the highlights of the updated survey with the hope of providing valuable insights to our findings. Our goal for today's knowledge sharing webinar are to present the findings of the COVID-19 impact on between stakeholders and volunteers toward the attainment of resilience within the coconut subsector. And today we are glad to have participants from the private sector, the local and international NGOs, the academe, and representatives from various organizations, also probably within the USAID and our partners of the Americas. So next slide, please. It is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed panel of speakers today. So we have Neil Porras, Chair Cooperative or HMPC, based in Antipas, North Cotabato. With members and provides farm financing, salary loans, and recently enhanced its cacao processing facility. Annette Acosta, today she cannot join us, but she's sending her message. She has recently completed her volunteer assignment with HMPC on risk and mitigation. She is skilled in sustainable development, social impact and valuations, as well as financial modeling and microfinance. She will be sharing her experience and highlighting recommendations for HMPC. We also have today Nancy Wells. She is an experienced farmer-to-farmer volunteer, having engaged in several assignments. She is currently with Fisher Investments and Program Director for Enterprise Risk, and she is an expert in audit and compliance. Nancy will be sharing her virtual volunteer support to Alaminos Laguna Consumers Cooperative or ALACO. And then finally, we have Jessica Bienvenido or Jazz. She is an agriculturist and first-time farmer-to-farmer volunteer and was able to collect data through one-on-one interaction with farmer members and stakeholders of ALACO. Jazz worked together with Nancy and appeared as also trained its key personnel and provided recommendations for its business model. From the side of Grameen Foundation, we will be represented by myself. So I am the country director of the program being implemented in the Philippines. And also we have Sabrina Paraishi. She is our program director for Bankers Without Borders and is our facilitator of today's discussion. We also have Beverly Brule, Monitoring and Evaluation Senior Specialist. She will be representing the findings of the COVID-19 impact report. And later, when Michael Pascual would be able to join us again. He has a power outage right when we were about to start. We will be he will be facilitating the entire program. So if Michael is ready now, you can pick up from here and introduce yourself, Michael.
Hello, everyone. I apologize for that. I suddenly lost power in my area in the Philippines, so I apologize. My name is Michael Pascual. I'm the senior recruiter for the Farmer to Farmer program here in the Philippines, and thank you, Judith, for jumping in. Before we I guess begin, I'd like to just share a few housekeeping reminders. The duration of today's event is 1 hour and 30 minutes, so please be mindful of the time since a lot of our participants are in different time zones. Not everybody, English is not the first language for everybody here in the event, so please speak clearly and slowly. The event is being recorded and will be available after the webinar. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to type them into the chat box, and we'll be addressing them at the question. And we'll be sharing contact information of all the participants after the webinar. Again, thank you, and I apologize for jumping in here, and welcome. And I'll be turning it over to Judith to talk a little bit more about the Farmer to Farmer program.
Thank you so much, Michael. So we can move on to the next slide. So Farmer to Farmer supports farmers in developing countries to improve their livelihoods and food security. US volunteers are sent on technical assignments to provide hands-on training to communities, to various organizations like cooperatives, agribusinesses, microfinance, and also education. During this pandemic, F2F is nonetheless determined to this mission. Its mission of generating sustainable web-based economic growth in the agriculture sector. Last year, F2F celebrated its 35th years of global implementation, and it is looking forward to many more years of service. Next slide, please.